Yeah, I think that worked better last week. You're gonna go that way.
Understand. John can't make it, and probably gonna be late, so. Should we move closer together, or?
Oops. Just three of us. We can all fit at one table.
Can you come down here?
I am.
I only need one table.
Don't you think? Is that Bales or you?
That's his.
Oh. Are you okay there, Bill? Or?
Yeah, that's it.
Do you guys hear that? Like every time I set something on the table, does it like come through there? I can hear it. Like every time I do this, or
I could hear you when you put your phone down.
it's hard to find stuff.
Well, I did do that. You know, I need to do the awning on my RV so bad. It keeps looking like rain.
Yeah.
It doesn't
And then,
rain.
then it never rains.
I know.
Hello. Hi. We're just getting ready to start our committee meeting. So, can I give you a call later? All right. Okay. Great. Thanks. Thank you. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Huh? Uh-huh. Couple times ago. Thanks. That was the really question for Bylaws, the agreement. It's the agreement. I'm so sorry, but I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
Can I be in your class? I can help with this many. And if,
No, sit still.
and if you write my motions for me, I'll read them into the record. I won't understand what I read, but I'll read them.
We're doing pizza slices right now, which is actually kind of a fun unit, like how much pizza does each person get?
How much do I get?
Depends on which table you sit at, that's one of the things we figure out.
Depends on how long your arms are, how the reflexes are.
Yeah, that is actually how it would work in the real world, so.
Billy has 2 pieces of pizza. Johnny has 2 pieces of pizza. Bobby has a gun. How many pieces does Bobby get?
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Yo, I want your pepperoni on top of everything. Thank you.
I'll leave it here.
Alright, so I don't know what time Kelly's gonna get here, so we can go ahead and get started. And at 4.
Can't imagine this. I actually have to go home, put my feet up and read tonight.
Right, so we will start the meeting at 4:01. Today is September. I'm gonna read our little disclaimer here. We are the Lapeer District Library Policy and Bylaw Ad Hoc Committee. The committee will review current library bylaws and policies. This committee serves as an advisory committee only. Any recommendations for changes, additions, or deletions to the current policies and bylaws by this committee will be brought first to the LDL Corporate Counsel for legal review and then to the full board. This ad hoc committee does not have decision-making authority and will function as an advisory committee only. So, today we talked about going through well, first I want to give you guys these. These are the bylaws that Kelly has typed up so far. She sent us an email, but it's easier for me to just read it like her. Yeah, do the hard copy. So, if we have time today, we can kind of go through these and compare what we have on our notes and make sure that everything's being covered that way. She's still working on them. It's not done, but she did a pretty good job. All right, so
Oh, here she is.
oh, nice. Hi, Kelly.
Yay. We didn't get very far.
No, we just started.
Oh, good.
Just called me the order and missed my disclaimers out. Let me read it again.
No.
Hey. Did you print one of these for yourself, Kelly, on what you've been typing up?
Oh,
You want one?
sure,
Okay.
yes,
I gave one to Carol and Bill as well.
okay.
So I said if we have time, we can go through that.
Okay, perfect.
And John will not be here.
Okay.
He had something come up last minute. Whenever you're ready. Karen, if that's air, I'm gonna need that on. Sorry.
It's, so you need the mics closer to you then?
Okay, I'll do
Because it's
that.
overpowering the sound by a whole lot.
Okay, well,
And you could actually turn it down quite a bit. That was up very high.
I just turned it high. I'm sorry, it's a little warm in here today. It's pretty hot out. Maybe if we move, I'll move it back and forth. Can you hear me now? Is that better?
It is barely amplifying. You have to have it like, it's like ice cream. You have to have it right in front of your mouth.
How about now?
It's still not amplifying much.
I'm sorry, what?
It's still not amplifying.
Some of them are pretty touchy and you have to have them pretty close.
You just want to move your table closer?
You wanna move closer?
I hear you. I was just kind of going through in my head. Honestly, that sound is going to overpower what we can hear. It's background noise that is just much too loud for this
Could
situation.
you move that thing over there or something away from where you are?
I'm sorry, what?
Could you move that machine over there?
Okay. There.
Not over there, because that's the same thing.
Oh,
Over there.
how far the cord will reach?
Unplug it and plug it in someplace. All the way
No,
over.
she's not gonna
All
get
the
the
way over
benefit.
to that side. There's
No, no, she needs to feel it.
It's okay. I'll just deal with it. I'm an adult. I can deal with it. Can you hear me now?
That's better, but it's
Okay.
really got to be right here. It's like my microphone all day.
Yeah, I'm just gonna talk really loud. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, are you ready, Kelly? We were gonna go through the patron behavior policy.
Yes, let me get you.
Whenever you're ready, just kind of like we've been doing, going through each section and giving our recommendations. Starting with the introduction.
No recommendation by me.
I don't have anything either for the introduction.
I'm fine with the introduction.
I'm good.
Alright, section 2, rules for a safe environment. Section A, violations of the law.
Good with it.
Same. Okay,
I read ahead, I'm actually good with all these rules for safe environment.
oh, okay. I'll do the same then.
I am too, I read them.
Yeah, Brenna. I'm okay with all of them.
And C though, I know it is just a general statement as far as drugs, but should we, be more specific as far as like the marijuana, cannabis?
Are you saying because it's not illegal? Or what would your reasoning be for that, for recommending that?
Well, like for GLTA, you know, somebody can't have that out. It's not legal for you to drive with it, so there's certain, just because it's legal does not mean it's legal in all aspects.
Right.
So I just was thinking to be a little bit more, because it isn't illegal and it does say drug paraphernalia, but as far as even having, because now the like vapes, you can't even smell that they're using marijuana when they're doing it. You have no clue.
Yeah, that is a good point. So are you recommending that we add both of those things?
I would think, yes. I mean, is there?
And tobacco?
I thought there was already something about smoking.
Oh, yeah. Well, it says candles, matches, and lighters. So do you want to suggest tobacco as well? Carol said tobacco.
Oh, I thought there was something about no smoking tobacco, but there isn't.
So add
I
tobacco?
didn't, yeah, and I didn't see it either. I thought maybe I missed it, but I didn't see it either. I mean, I would imagine that there has to be some sort of signage, I would think. Well, it does, no, S says smoking tobacco use, smoking and using e-cigarettes, vaping, so it does say vaping.
Where's that?
On page 5.
Oh,
I thought I had seen it.
got it.
It is prohibited.
So that's just on the different section.
I mean, it does say vaping, but I don't know, I just think it would be more transparent to actually put
Seems like
that
it
the
should be
use of
together.
marijuana.
Seems like it should all be together too, but,
Right.
yeah, so just add marijuana to that part then?
I think so.
Okay.
Because, kind of to your point, where it has, I think, well, maybe we'll get to that, but I do think that some of this needs to be rearranged, because it
Right.
just says campaigning, petitioning, interviewing, and similar activities. I don't know why, you know, having no shirts or smoking tobacco, and all that would be under that category. I think some of these should be
Yeah.
under rules for, I don't know if I actually like rules for safe environment, I don't know, I think that could be rephrased.
Any suggestions on rephrasing from me?
I don't know, let me think about it for a minute,
Okay,
I just think it needs to be reworded.
well, and how do you guys feel about moving the, once we come up with the wording, including the, tobacco and vaping in this same section?
Yeah, it belongs in that section. It belongs in that section.
Well, I like the, you know, cause it says technically rules for personal behavior, but then it has,
Where's that at?
that's on page 2.
Oh, you're talking about the Title III, Rules for Personal Behavior?
Right. I guess to me, I don't know, I think just by looking at it, I'm just recommending that we maybe recategorize some of this stuff and put it again more together.
Okay, is that something you wanna talk about now, or have us maybe,
I don't know, let's just look at each individual line and then we can go,
we come
you
back
know,
to it?
and we can come back to it after we say,
Okay,
you know, that any,
right, so I'll just make a note then by rules for a safe environment. To possibly rephrase that?
yeah, I think it needs to be reworded. And I know we kind of talked about that, but can't we just like put C and D together? Since it's talking about alcoholic beverages, I don't know why we would need to have a separate section for D.
I don't have a strong feeling about it either way. I mean, it could be together, but the one is, C is talking more about, just, you know, having it. Because even possessing it, you could be possessing something and not actually be under the influence.
Right.
I would tend just to be, just side with leaving it, but I don't really have a strong feeling either way. As long as it's there. You guys have anything else?
I
in that
don't.
section? No?
okay with page 2.
I guess under personal property, I don't know if that's actually lawful, where it says the library may also limit the size of items. For example, the library prohibits items such as suitcase, duffel bags, or large plastic garbage bags. They probably prefer that. I don't know if it's lawful if you can actually say that somebody can't bring them in.
Yeah, we can check on that.
You could also, just take out, ask the lawyer about taking out, the library prohibits, and just say, the library may also limit the size of items, for example, suitcases, duffel bags, or large plastic bags. Take out, the library prohibits large items.
I don't know if that's still lawful under ADA though.
Well, you're taking out the word prohibit, and it says they may also limit the size of items. May also
But
limit.
again, I would just say let's check with the attorney, because ADA's made changes, so I just don't know if that's something. This one dated. Yeah, it's at 18.
I feel like A and D specifically are just geared at the homeless. So,
Which I understand, but
Yeah.
like, you know, I don't know, and this was done in 18, so there has been many changes with ADA as far as since
Right.
then, so
yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you, I'm just
I just
saying.
would rather make sure the
Right.
verbiage is up to
Right.
date. And I understand exactly why you wouldn't want them, I'm not, but I don't know how lawful it is to.
Right. How do you guys feel about D then?
I'm okay with it because it's referring unspokenly to me about loitering, so people shouldn't be loitering here. They
Yeah, but
should
it's
be using the building.
Right, but it's a public building.
That's my opinion. So how would you change it?
Get rid of it? Just get rid of it? Or maybe say, no loitering, I mean, because what if someone steps in, just needs to pull off for a minute, use the bathroom, get a drink of water, you know?
They won't be here long enough, hardly to even be recognized that
Right.
that's all they're doing.
I would say we should check with the attorney with that one, because again, I think with it being a public building, I don't know if you can really enforce that.
Yeah.
And to me, why have a rule if it's not something enforceable?
Okay. So then we would go to like a what if scenario. What if the attorney says, because we have to run everything by the attorney.
Right.
So what if the attorney says, yes, that's enforceable, or no, that's not? So what are your feelings there? He says, yes, it's enforceable. Are you guys recommending that we leave it?
I would say yes.
Okay. And you had already said that, and Bill, you thought so too. Where are you guys at? Are you still on page 3?
I'm on 3 on H.
Yeah, that's a whole big
If-
question there.
Yeah, well, but my thing is, it does say campaigning, petitioning, interviewing, similar activities. As a limited public forum, the library reserves the right to regulate the time, the place, the manner for campaigning, petition, interview, survey taking, pamphleteering, canvassing, and soliciting on library grounds as follows. And it does say that it is, but up here it says limited in the right to regulate, but then on number 1, it says it's prohibited inside the library. I guess that would be if it was outside the library.
Yeah, and where it says, if if it does not indicate, use of library property does not indicate the library's opposition or endorsement. Well, the whole thing questions, like, is there supposed to be campaigning on a public property or at the library? Like, I've heard it discussed before that it's just not allowed. Am I wrong on that one?
Let's see.
Well, we're making the argument that this is a public building and talking about not being able to restrict certain things. To me, this is no different than your township property when you're out on election day if you're a candidate out there campaigning.
You can't do it, right?
You can do it within 100 feet,
Right.
outside of 100 feet.
the-
And this
yeah.
says 10 feet.
The 100 feet is only because of voting, so I
Correct.
mean, that wouldn't apply here, because this is not
Right.
a voting. I guess I don't know why what if somebody, we'll just say, wanted to rent this room for meeting? I guess that's something, because it says prohibited inside the library. Well, why would you want them to meet? As long as it stayed like inside this room, I'd rather stay inside this room than be outside.
Yeah,
If you were limiting. I mean, I don't know how much of that they have, but.
well, backing up to F, we talked before about, when somebody wants to, I think it was like the bulletin and the pamphlets, that, it wouldn't just be like a verbal from the library director, that it would be in writing.
Right.
So that it's, can be traced back if it's, how do you guys feel about that, including that for F, that it be in writing?
Well, section F is in conflict with section I on the next page. 'Cause on page 4, section I, it says selling merchandise on library property without permission is prohibited. Section F, it's soliciting and panhandling and sales of products and services are prohibited unless it's related to the library. So,
Well, the
I don't
last.
know why there's two.
The last line says, sales of products or services that are incidental to library program.
Looks like the library director needs to approve both. So we're saying have a written
Yeah, I think so.
request.
Do we need to have two though? I mean, could they be incorporated together? Because it does say sales.
I
Right.
think they could go together.
I think it would be fine.
Yeah. Combine F and I.
F and I, yeah.
And then add that the approval must be in a written form, Matt,
Right,
as a written form.
yeah. That would be my recommendation.
Not only the approval, but the request.
Yeah, approval or denial. Right.
But whoever is asking to be approved, that needs to be writing also.
It would be part of the form.
Right.
I would,
Oh, I see what you're saying. One form for request and then they would, on the same form, say if it's approved or denied.
yeah. as H, I guess just we need to find out the legalities on that too, right?
Yes.
So I'm thinking K is from possibly incidents that's already happened.
Yeah, it definitely could be. Seems reasonable though. But it would solve N, right? So, I don't know.
But I would do away with N.
I agree with that. How do you guys feel about that?
You said N, correct? Yeah.
Odor.
Any thoughts, Bill?
I don't know if I would completely, I think it just needs to be like reworded. Cause unfortunately that's a very touchy service or subject. The prohibited is not allowable by ADA. Just because of somebody's odor, you can't remove them because of it. But I think we could make a statement. I mean, like if I have somebody, I actually just write them a letter, you know, kind of explaining it. So I think it could be reworded without, to have it in there, to have it mentioned. But you can't remove somebody, and, you know, you can't say that it's prohibited
Yeah, is
because
that even constitutional?
it's against ADA.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So how would you reword it?
Well, I think, you know, because like if you give somebody a copy of, this is the rules and regulations of the library, which to me that's what this is for the patrons. You can actually touch on it as far, I'd have to look at it a little bit more. I mean, I had already highlighted it because you can't do that. I mean, I can't remove somebody off my bus because of their odor. So I think it's good to touch it on it, because like I said, I send them out just a letter, just letting them know. Sometimes I'll make a quick phone call, just letting them know there has, been a report of it, and just try to, it's a
Is that-
really touchy situation.
It is very touching. Is that in your policy to do that, or do you just know that you would reach out, like you guys have that spelled out in your policy? Because I'm still leaning towards, like, as far as, my thoughts is just getting rid of it. But, I mean, there's, hopefully.
It's
there's
not in my
there-
rules and regulations.
Right. And, I can't imagine any of our library staff that, wouldn't wanna handle it with, compassion and being delicate and, probably come up with an idea like you, just on a case-to-case basis, but I'm leaning towards just getting rid of it.
And I'm good with that as well. I
Recommend
just said
you
at
do
least,
it.
soften it up a little bit so that it's in there, but I mean, they could send out a letter, because I think the letter is a little easier for that person, because it's, something that I'm not actually calling you in it, where I think it's a little bit more of a, hard for both ways if you're making that personal call. But I think, sending out a letter. So I would be good either way. Removing it would be fine, and just knowing that they have that option to be able to do that.
Yeah. So I will write that we're recommending just to remove it.
Okay.
I have a question on Q, identification. Patrons must provide identification to library staff when requested. Is that meaning a library card or a driver's license? To me, a library card should be sufficient.
Right, because it does say patron, so
They should have
so
a
they
card.
should already have a card, yeah.
Are we assuming that that's what it is? Okay. And let it just stand?
I would just leave it as it is.
Okay, I think it's just a card.
So for R, it's kind of the same things that, are you guys there yet?
Yeah.
Kind of the same things we've been talking about, I think that should also require a permission form. And I'm trying to think of a circumstance, because didn't we, when we were doing the sign and banner policy, didn't we think it should just be library events, right?
So a request form.
Yeah, similarly, yeah. Permission form. It should always be documented, not just, okay, it's okay for you, but not for you.
Couldn't that be combined with the policy of campaigning, petitioning, interviewing? Just put it on the same form instead of having a second form. If somebody's campaigning, they might want to have a table there. Does it really need to be a separate thing? Just put it on that same request form.
Yeah. could be G
Oh,
under A.
yeah, you're talking about the form itself, not combining the two items in here. Like the form itself could cover
Correct.
all of
The
this.
same form could cover both
Yeah.
lots.
Yeah, I agree.
So under preservation of library materials or property, I guess I don't, it says library phones and staff computers are for staff use only and an emergency phones may be used. Oh, they would have had. So like behind the counter, there isn't any phones that wouldn't be behind the counter, that staff would be there, correct?
Where are you at, Kelly?
On C, page 5.
What are you suggesting?
No, I was just saying after I read it differently the first time, but in emergency, the phones may be used to call for transportation. But shouldn't that say with staff's approval or, library staff present or something? I mean, I know that's getting a little lengthy, but just so that a patron doesn't go up and use
Yeah,
phone without having.
yeah, it seemed like it just implied that that's how it would be, but wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, cause like up above, permission. I just think with permission of library staff.
How about in the presence of library staff?
Okay.
On B, for item 1, when it talks about parents, guardians, or responsible caregivers, I've seen other libraries that they specify who a caregiver can be. They say at least someone the age of 13.
Ours says
Mm-hmm.
on the next page,
Well, that's for the
it's on page 6.
Yeah.
It says 16.
Okay. Thanks for catching that. I didn't catch that.
So since I just had CMH over for recipients' rights, I do think we need to make sure that under 5, children and vulnerable adults in the library, where it does say, because they have their rights to make their own decision and our own choices. Where it says whoever, because of age, development, disability, mental illness, or physical disability requires supervision or personal care or lack of, they're still able to make their own decision whether they need assistance or not. So, I don't know. I just think we should look at that second section where it says a vulnerable adult. I don't know if that terminology would be.
Okay.
What Lisa
Just in
Johnson, the
section.
recipient's rights would allow.
Right. I started just making myself a copy of everything. I can write right on it. Item 4, I have a recommendation to increase the age from 10 to at least 12.
I would agree.
You agree with the number
Increase.
2, 12?
Yes.
You think it should be
I'm fine with 12.
I would agree.
So in both spots,
right, so it'd be changed throughout, but, how do you feel about that recommendation, Kelly?
I'm fine with that.
So we would apply twice in 4, 7, 9, anywhere it says 10, increase it to 12. Right?
Yep.
Well, what about number 6 in that section?
I don't know if,
I'm thinking it should be increased to 5. That's just my feeling. Children ages 3 and under must be within a visual contact of the parent, guardian, and so on. I think that's pretty young, so I'd
I
say
would agree
5.
with that recommendation.
so I'm back at 5, so you're saying for 6, you wanna change it to 5 instead of 3.
Yes.
2, 5. I don't see how we can even leave 5 in there, where it says people of any age because of a
No, she's
development.
saying that change the age, not the item, like,
What's wrong with 5, Kelly?
Because it's saying that they require supervision. And again, with recipients' rights, I don't believe we can require somebody. And how are you going to define mental illness?
That is very good point.
I would maybe run that by the attorney for an update, because
Right.
just because certain policies or things apply to CMH or GLTA may not apply to a library situations.
No,
I'm just,
but that it's not applying it whether it's GLTA or whatever. Somebody that is developmentally disabled has the right to make their own decisions. Whether they're in a home or not, they still have certain rights. That's
Yeah,
recipient rights,
Have it.
whether it's CMH or whether they're Myers or whether they're
Yeah,
here,
I've
so.
been through that training as well.
But is this a decision thing? It's saying supervision, not,
But it's saying it's required. And again, how are you going to define mental illness? You know, somebody technically with schizophrenia could have mental illness, somebody with,
It could open up for liability if staff says to an adult, you need to be supervised, or you need someone with you, or you have to leave. So it is something we should run by the attorney and, but
yeah, I just say,
see what
let's
you're
check
saying.
that one out.
Huh?
I would say check that one out
Mhm.
to see.
So then for item 6, Carol recommended increasing from 3 years of age to 5 years of age. How do you guys feel about that? I've worked with 4-year-olds and I'm completely okay with that.
I agree with it.
So we would recommend increasing that from 3 to 5.
I guess as I'm reading it, the term that keeps going through this section is vulnerable adult, and I guess I just don't care for that phrasing.
Yeah, it's very, very vague and unclear and, yeah.
I didn't like it in A. I just think we should look at circle it here.
have the room till 5:15. I apologize, we don't have it longer, but when I started looking, this room is getting booked up for a lot of different activities. That's as long as I can have it.
That's good though. That's good.
Okay.
There's a minor error on page 7, just above where it says disciplinary process for library facilities. The last sentence in that paragraph says legal guarding, and I believe they meant to say legal guardian.
Can you repeat that one?
The last sentence in the paragraph where it says legal guarding or caregiver, I think they meant to have it say legal guardian.
Okay,
I know it's a little minor thing, but
right.
Just to correct. Okay, so in that same paragraph, in the parentheses, shouldn't it say with information identifying the patron? Oh, it says without information identifying a patron. To me, why would you leave a note on the door if you're not gonna have some sort of information that parent or guardian knows it's for them?
might not be legal to leave personally identifying information in view of the public. That might be
So-
why.
What we have to do is use first initial and last name, the first name, last initial. So it's not a full, but you have some identifying mark.
Yeah, it would violate the privacy policy with their name, but how are you going to identify them? You have to identify them in some way to. So that, yeah,
It
that's.
might be a good question for the attorney, how we can
Yeah, that's
follow
how,
that without violating.
Right.
any-
because that's how we have to do it over the, but that's how we do it over the radio, is we either identify somebody just by an address, no name, or just their last name, just their first name and a first initial, so that way it's not giving them without the address. And I hate to say it, it probably happens more times than what you think. So under disciplinary process for the library facility, I know I brought this up before, when it referenced, it says, the staff shall record in writing in the form of an incident report. Does the library actually have an incident report? Because to me, what I would think is an incident report might not be your definition of an incident report. So to me, that needs to be taken out of the question, and just an incident report needs to be established.
Do you know for sure if there is or isn't?
No, that I asked that question before, but because it said the same thing. Staff shall record in writing in the form of an incident report. So I didn't know if they have an actual incident report that has been established.
Okay, we can find that out.
I also recommend that any of these forms that we're asking to be created for these, that copies be attached to the section of policy that they apply to.
Okay.
So under D for reinstatement, is it necessary, that they have to actually meet with the library director, or could the library director, like, make a phone conversation? I mean, do they have to, I think that kind of limits the director by just maybe even making that conversation and being able to handle it that way, opposed to actually having to actually meet that person for reinstatement.
It says they're gonna go over the library patron behavior policy, so that might take
Well, it could be, we
time.
could recommend adding, via phone or Zoom, that it doesn't have to be an in-person meeting.
Because I mean, a lot of times, like, I'll mail out the rules and regulations, and then we don't have to go over every single item,
Right.
which even in person, you're not gonna go over every single item. You're probably gonna just highlight certain ones that were applicable to the
Right.
reason that they were, suspended. I just think, just making it so that they, not giving the director that availability just to be able to handle that via phone or.
I agree with that. Can we flip back to page 7? We touched on this before about having anything that's documented in writing in a central location so that everybody can see it. Staff changes and someone leaves and someone comes back, or someone takes over. But the way I'm reading it, it looks like they only start, the policy right now is to only start documenting in a subsequent violation. So the initial violation, it says, is a verbal request. So how would a staff member know if it's a subsequent violation if the verbal request isn't documented?
Should be documented, I agree.
Is there something on, and I'm just asking this question, on their, like, programs, when you bring up that patron's information, that, it can be noted that there's been, I don't know if that's even a possibility.
Oh, you mean like it would show up when they run their cars or something? Or
Yeah, like,
when
or if they
use their
wanted to,
cars?
yeah. I don't know if that's something that, the system is capable of doing it, but that to me is, a good way. Especially if, somebody goes to the main branch here and then heads out to Hadley, that's gonna be shown electronically. I just don't know if the system has the capability.
Right. Well, we can find out.
Yeah, find out if already it's a verbal warning to the patron, but isn't there an incident report written up about it? Already.
Yeah. I don't have any further recommendations.
Me neither.
I'm all set.
Yep. We got through it. So we will end the meeting at 5:15.
Kelly, I just have a general question. At what age do children ride the bus unaccompanied?
Unaccompanied, 5.
5?
We had, because we transported for Head Start, but there was always an aide that was with them.
So they're not unaccompanied.
But that's what I'm saying, they weren't unaccompanied at that point. So
That was
they were
my-
3 and 4 year olds,
My question is, when can they ride
Right.
unaccompanied?
the 5.
So 5-year-olds can ride the bus by themselves.
We don't usually have that situation, but very rarely.
It's possible. And do you limit what they can take on the bus?
Yes, what they can take care of, what they can be like accountable for. So like if they were, we'll just say somebody grocery shopping is probably the big one. So like if somebody had 20 bags, they're not able to secure 20 bags unless they have like one of those rollaway grocery carts that we could put them in. So that's why I was just saying, I don't know, and I wanted to check on that one that was here. I don't know how much you can limit without checking to make sure. Because things from ADA has changed, especially after COVID. There was a lot of changes.
I mean, I can
Is she coming to get the
listen angry.
microphones and
I
everything?
can do this anything.
She's actually scared. She's so scared.
Constitutional?
Probably could get a couple more questions right now, but Barbara's working.
And so, we've been in days, a lot of one in this. Goes to nothing but ground up, pretty back.
Close up, got it. We'll let them keep her shut it off. Somebody must have had a sticker party. Oh, wow.
Just clean the air.
This is what's next here.
It circulates it, but it doesn't clean it.
Oh, that justifies my father, nothing but that ground.
I know they'd be
Those are very, very common.
times.
And they're nice, but.
Oh, I knew there's little portable units, I didn't know that it was just a big building.
Oh, yeah, that's piercing.
Oh, lovely.
The next meeting, I'll ask if we can. So,
And anybody who knows anything will know that because you have the vent and the air conditioner, right? We should take